HMAS Castlemaine, named for the city of Castlemaine, Victoria, was one of 60 Bathurst-class corvettes constructed during World War II, and one of 36 initially manned and commissioned solely by the Royal Australian Navy. Launched in 1941 and commissioned in 1942, Castlemaine operated during World War II in the waters of Australia, New Guinea, and Timor. She remained in service until 1945, when she was decommissioned into a reserve and converted into an immobilised training ship. In 1973, Castlemaine was presented to the Maritime Trust of Australia for conversion of a museum ship. She is one of two surviving examples of the Bathurst-class, the other being HMAS Castlemaine. Design and construction. In 1938, the Australian Commonwealth Naval Board identified the need for a general-purpose local defence vessel capable of both anti-submarine and mine warfare duties. While easy to construct and operate, the vessel was initially envisaged as having a displacement of approximately 500 tons, a speed of at least 10 knots, and a range of 2,000 nautical miles. The opportunity to build a prototype in the place of a cancelled Bar-class boom defence vessels or the proposed design increased to a 680-ton vessel, with a 15.5-knot stop speed, and a range of 2,850 nautical miles, armed with a 4-inch gun, equipped with ASDIC, and able to fitted with either depth charges or minesweeping equipment depending on the planned operations. Although closer in size to a sloop than a local defence vessel, the resulting increased capabilities were accepted due to advantages over British-designed mine warfare and anti-submarine vessels. Construction of the prototype HMAS Kangaroo did not go ahead, but the plans were retained. The need for locally built, all-rounder vessels at the start of World War II saw the Australian minesweepers, approved in September 1939, with 60 constructed during the course of the war, 36 ordered by the RAN, 20 ordered by the British Admiralty but manned and commissioned as RAN vessels, and 4 for the Royal Indian Navy. Castlemaine was laid down by HMA Naval Dockyard in Williamstown, Victoria on 17 February 1941. She was launched on 7 August 1941 by Dame Patty Menzies, wife of the then Prime Minister of Australia, Sir Robert Menzies. The corvette was commissioned into the RAN at Melbourne on 17 June 1942. Operational history. After commissioning, Castlemaine sailed to Sydney, where she was involved in training exercises and convoy escort along the east coast of Australia. On the night of the 11th of August 1942, the corvette collided with a Manly ferry, requiring a week of repairs at Cockatoo Island Dockyard. After repairs, Castlemaine was ordered to Townsville, then assigned to Darwin in October. At both locations the ship was tasked with supporting and supplying Allied guerrilla operations in Timor. In late November 1942, the RAN was called on to evacuate the commandos of the 2nd Independent Company, a contingent of Dutch troops, and over 100 Portuguese civilians, while delivering a relief contingent. Castlemaine, sister ship Armadale, and the auxiliary patrol boat Guru were assigned to the operation by Commodore Cuthbert Poe, naval officer in charge Darwin, with Castlemaine the commanding ship. The plan was for Guru to reach Botany Bay early on the night of the 30th of November, offload supplies, and take on the civilians. The two corvettes were to arrive 2 hours later. Guru would deliver her passengers to Castlemaine, which was to head for Darwin at first opportunity, then shuttle relief troops aboard Armidale to shore while evacuating the soldiers. The corvette sailed from Darwin at midday on the 29th of November, leaving just as Japanese aircraft flew over the harbour. At 9 o'clock on the 30th of November, the two ships were located by a Japanese reconnaissance plane, but were unable to shoot it down, because of the likelihood of attack during the day and the distance from the destination. The ships radioed Darwin and suggested that the mission be aborted, but Pope instructed they were to continue after steering away from their intended destination for an hour, and promised fighter support. Armidale and Castlemaine were attacked at midday by 14 Japanese bombers, but these were driven off by a force of Bristol Bow fighters, which then returned to Australia. Another attack came at 1400, but neither side was able to do damage. Delays from the evasive course and two air attacks meant the corvettes reached Beatano Bay after 2:30 on the 1st of December, with no sign of Uru, and retreated to sea. Uru was sighted at daybreak, assuming the corvettes were not coming. Her commander chose to sail for Darwin with the civilians, and the civilians were transferred to Castlemaine. Although as senior ship, Castlemaine's commanding officer felt he should return to Beatano Bay with the soldiers. The troops were aboard the other corvette, and at 11 o'clock he ordered Armidale and Uru to return by separate routes and attempt the operation again that night. Although Castlemaine returned without trouble, Armidale was attacked and sunk by Japanese aircraft on the 1st of December. On the 15th of December, Castlemaine was escorting the merchant ships Period and James Cook to Thursday Island when they were attacked by Japanese aircraft. 4 of Period's crew were killed, and the 3 ships were attacked 2 more times on the 15th of December, and a 4th time on the 16th of December. No further damage was sustained, with the aircraft driven off by the corvette's anti-aircraft armament on all 4 occasions. Following the Allied withdrawal from Timor in early 1943, Castlemaine was assigned to minesweeping and escort duties in northern Australian waters. This continued until the end of 1943, when she was reassigned to the convoy escort role between Queensland and New Guinea. In August 1944, the corvette was tasked with survey duties in Australia waters, before sailing to Hong Kong for the Japanese surrender in September 1945. The ship was granted 3 battle honours for her wartime service: Darwin 1942-43, Pacific 1942-43, and New Guinea 1942-44. Decommissioning and preservation. Castlemaine paid off to reserve on the 14th of December 1945. She was immobilised at HMAS Cerberus at Crib Point in Victoria as a training hulk for engine room artificers, who ran the boilers, in part providing steam heating throughout the base. During this period, she was also used for damage control training for service personnel. In September 1973, Castlemaine was presented as a gift to the Maritime Trust of Australia from the Australian government, transferred into trust ownership by the end of 1973, minus most of the original fittings. Castlemaine was restored and converted into a museum ship. Castlemaine is presently berthed at Gem Pier, Williamstown, Victoria, adjacent to the historic Customs House. The ship is not capable of sailing, as the main mess deck houses a museum, and the engines have been converted to run on compressed air, displaying the mechanical operation to visitors. Between 14 and the 29th of August 2015, Castlemaine was dry-docked for maintenance, cleaning, and hull preservation at the nearby BAE Systems Williamstown shipyard. Citations